Hi there, very good morning to all our viewers. You've tuned into this live broadcast here on Money Control. You're watching Opening Bell with me, Stacey Pereira, and I'm here to take you through all the news and cues that you need to be looking out for that could go ahead and impact your trading day. We have quite an interesting setup. If you look at the handover, well, Wall Street closed at record high levels, but the futures are trading a little lower right now. Asian markets also a bit, in a mixed range, we would say, and the Gift Nifty too indicating that muted start for the market. But let me take you through all the other headlines and what you need to be watching out for in today's day before we get into all those details into what the trade is going to be like. So let's discuss what we have to look ahead forward to, and joining me for that is Rohan Shah. He's the technical analyst at Religare Broking. Good morning, Rohan. Thanks so much for giving us your time. Let's look at the benchmarks first of all and what we are seeing them do. We've seen some bit of swings, but the market's really pretty much stuck in a range, we would say. What could be that trigger that is needed at this point, or do you think now that the March meltdown is over, we have much more positives to look forward to, and what would be those levels for you?
Yeah, good morning, Stacy, and thank you for having me on the show. So yes, you rightly said that we have been trading in a sideways range, that is of 400 points from last 7 to 8 session. And the positive thing is that Nifty has managed to defend its 50-day exponential moving average that comes around like 21,850, 800 zone. And in the last session, it has managed to reclaim its short-term moving average, that is 20-day exponential moving average. So these are some positive development what we can see on the chart. But on the level front, 22,200 is something the level which should be on the focus. Once we reclaim again 22,200, then we can see further upward momentum in index, which can take index higher towards 22,450, 22,500 mark. But in case if it doesn't break 22,200 in 1 or 2 sessions, then again we might see profit taking coming in, and again we would like index will be hovering in the range of like 21,800 and 22,200. So as of now, 22,200 is the level to watch out for further upward momentum in Nifty.
Right. In fact, Rohan, will also want to address the fact that, today this T+0 settlement cycle will be put to test, and people are going to be able to try that out in 25 different stocks that BSE has at least listed out. How does that change so much for a trader? What should one be looking at? What will really be different from today's session?
uh, uh, Talking specifically of this new regime, that it of course it will be positive for the traders and investor, of course, but we might see some volatility in today's session, especially as we are heading towards monthly expiry and the financial year end. So we are expecting volatility in the index, and the levels for intraday watch we are looking out for is 22,200 and 22,350. And on the downside, 22,000 is a intermediate support zone, and below that 21,980 levels. So 22,000 21,980 and 22,220 are the support area for the index for intraday. And on the higher side, again, as I said, 22,200 is the what levels, which is very strong resistance for the index, which has been seeing from last couple of sessions. So on the higher side, 22,200 is an intermediate resistance. Above that, we can see the further recovery and upward momentum in index.
Right. Well, those are interesting levels that Rohan points out, but let's also speak about more specific to make its market debut. And sources are telling Moneycontrol, this is an exclusive that we've got, that Bajaj Housing Finance has already initiated those talks with multiple investment bankers about that initial public offering, and they're looking at a valuation of anywhere around $9 to $10 billion. That's right. That's how big they're looking at this IPO. Somewhere $900 million to $1 billion is what they're looking to garner through this IPO. In terms of the stock's performance, of course, Bajaj Finance has been quite perked up in the past few trading sessions. In the last 1 month, in fact, it has gained over 8%. On the other hand, we're seeing Bajaj Finance, the parent Bajaj Finserv, though, has remained quite flattish in trade. So let me bring Rohan back in and ask him what the charts are really saying for Bajaj Finance. Of course, this is all in accordance to what the RBI norm is for NBFCs, and especially that upper level NBFCs. We already saw what happened with Aditya Birla Capital and them, taking on board Aditya Birla Finance, pretty much merging that together. But here we're hearing that there might be a separate IPO for Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Housing Finance. So how are we to look at these two stocks, both the twins and now also another one that could get an entry into the markets?
So yes, Bajaj Finance has recovered strongly from last couple of session and it has moved swiftly higher. But currently 7050 is a strong resistance area. So if we look at the daily chart, there is a gap resistance present in Finance at around this level. So one stock manages to sustain and close above 7050, then we can see further upward momentum in the stock, which can take higher towards 7400 levels. But as of now, wait for a resistance to break, that is 7050, and then we can add a fresh long for an upside target of 7400 levels.
Right, that's interesting that you said. And the whole NBFC space, in fact, has seen quite a bit of activity, not just about, adhering to norms, but in terms of regulatory action that has also come from both SEBI, RBI, all of them keeping their guard pretty up. But maybe let me also ask Rohan, quickly, before we hit that, we're barely 30 seconds away. Is he seeing this rotation and are the large caps is what he prefers as well?
So yes, there has been like sector rotation and rotation from time to time, and that is the reason why the Nifty has been consolidating in a range. So there is a not clear leadership we are seeing in the heavyweight stocks. So to be specific, one stock which we like is Max Financial Service, that is MFSL. In the last session, it has given a decent breakout from the consolidation with a bullish cap formation. So we believe this is one stock which should be kept on radar, and in sessions to come, we
Right.
can see a good up move
Rohan,
in this stock.
Rohan, I'm going to ask you to just wait there till we address market open there. Pretty much we're touching that 22,200 levels, but slightly slipping away from that as well. But that's what markets are pretty much keeping that target in sight, one would say. So that's not far away, almost 2/10 come Monday. So people will be sitting on the sidelines. But let me go back to my experts and ask Rohan, do you think it should be a wait and watch strategy at this point, or how are you looking at further upswings from here? So this would be a good time to enter.
So yes, we should have a wait and watch approach as of now. As on the index front, we are trading near the resistance zones which we discussed earlier, that is 22,200. And specifically talking about the Bank Nifty, also is trading near its resistance area, that is 47,000 levels. So as of now, it's better to keep a wait and watch and wait for the confirmation. Let Nifty cross the hurdle and Bank Nifty cross the hurdle, then we can step in and create a fresh long position in this indices.
Well, let me also bring on board looking to exit the company. And remember, this company may still sell close to 2.25% stake via the block deal mode. This could happen in today's trade. And the offer size is likely to be about 1,191.40 crore rupees. This means that they're looking to sell close to 15.9 crore shares into the market. The floor price for this would be anywhere somewhere around 75 rupees per share, implying a 4% discount of sorts to that current market price that we're trading at. So that will be interesting to see. An IDFC first, whether this block deal actually goes through, and who would be the players, who would be the buyers and sellers. We'll be telling you that as and when those details come out. But let me go back to Rohan and get his thoughts on, like we were speaking about the PSUs versus the private banks, and how those have, now, even though we see some bit of activity taking place there, it may be not to those levels. So what would be the peaks, whether it would be PSUs still at this point, or do you think there are good entry points after there has been some bit of correction in the valuation for the private banks as well?
So as of now, we are looking at the private banks, and the main reason is that we are seeing risk reward favorability in private banks. So there are two picks which we like from this space. The first one is Kotak Kotak Bank. Specifically, if you look at the daily chart, the stock has given a breakout from inverse head and shoulder pattern and doing all the good things what we want from the activity to call it's a good buy candidate. So first one is Kotak Bank. On the upside, we are expecting a move towards 1950, 1970. And the next stock which we like is ICICI Bank. The reason is that from all the stocks, the one stock which has been relatively outperforming is ICICI Bank. So there are two candidates. That is one relatively outperformer, and the second one is pullback candidate. Talking specifically about the ICICI Bank, on the higher side, we are expecting a move towards 1130 in the coming session, and above 1130, the next level to watch out for is 1175. So from this space, Kotak Bank and ICICI Bank are the two stocks which definitely should be kept on radar.
Maybe I should pose that question to Pankaj as well and ask him. Rohan, what would be your take on this?
So if you look at the chart, the stock has been consistently underperforming, and in the today's session, it has witnessed a gap down, and at the same time, it has given a breakdown from the consolidation and 50% retracement level. So definitely, we can see further decline in this counter towards 70 and 68 levels. But again, from the medium term perspective, it's better to be in a good stock which is showing relatively higher performance. Instead of going for IDFC Bank, I would prefer ICICI Bank and Kotak Bank.
Right, so Rohan's picks are not IDFC first at this point, but do keep sending us your queries on, with the hashtag AskMC, and we'll try and get those addressed in terms of if you have any stock specific action that you would like details on. We're also getting another query from Rakesh on Pidilite Industries. So maybe Rohan can give us his take on that. How would you be looking at Pidilite Industries at this point?
So Pidilite industry has given a decent performance recently, and it has given a breakout from a volatility contraction pattern with the rise in volume. So definitely, it's a buy and dip candidate. So after a decent up move, we are expecting some breather, and this can be a good buying opportunity. So 2950 and 2900 levels is a zone of support zone for the stock. So one can look to go fresh long around this level for the upside target of 3100 and 3200 in the medium term perspective.
Right. Pankaj, coming back to you, the pharma space. Rohan, quickly back to you. We do have the monetary policy coming up next week. How are you looking at, do you think that there could be any kind of action that could change, or it's pretty much going to be status quo this time around also? So the rate sensitives that we talk about, would we see any kind of action, be it in real estate or even our banking names? What would be your picks if you had to?
So really, I don't comment on this RBI policy as look. I mostly look at the charts. But from the following, from the charts perspective, as discussed, we are positive on the private banking space. That is Kotak Bank and ICICI Bank are the two space what we are eyeing in the near term and medium term perspective as well. So going forward, we believe that it would be positive for the bank nifty. And the other thing why we are positive on the private bank is that if you look at the ratio chart of private bank to nifty, it has rebounded higher from the year low cycle, and it has been gradually inching higher, outperforming the index. So following the ratio chart and the absolute charts of the what we discussed, ICICI Bank and Kotak Bank, so we believe it would be positive for the bank nifty, and we can see good alpha in Kotak Bank and ICICI Bank. So we are looking forward for these two stocks in the coming weeks.
Right. Pankaj, what about your view on real estate? Do you think there is that turnaround that has happened? Rohan, you could tell us what the charts are saying for Divi's Lab. Abhijit wants to know why really that we seeing that downwards move, and what should be the strategy for this?
So again, Divi's Lab has been consistently underperforming after hitting a high of 4050, and currently it has placed near a very crucial support, that is 3350, 3300 is a very crucial support for the stock. Till the time it is holding 3300, we can see a rebound in this counter towards 3450, 3500 levels. So I would suggest that any bounce towards 3500, 3580 can be a good exit opportunity, and maintain a strict stop loss below 3300 levels.
Right. Let me quickly take one your picks for our viewers today. We are sitting on an expiry, but if you could give us maybe just for the day, what would be your picks?
So for the day, we have two recommendations. The first one is, as we discussed earlier, MFSL, that is Max Financial Service. So this is definitely one stock which should be kept on radar for the day. And positionally, we are eyeing target of 1070 to 1090, and the stop loss can be placed below 988. The next stock which we like is from the pharma space, that is Glenmark Pharma. This is one counter which has been doing well, showing a higher high and higher low formation on the longer time frame chart. So we believe the bullish trend to continue in this stock, and 1000 and 1020 other levels which should be kept on radar for the Glenmark Pharma.
Right, so interesting picks there by Rohan. Glenmark Pharma, he's picking from the pharma space. There's a lot of activity happening there so that you could actually, have somebody cherry pick those stocks for you. But let me thank both my guests, Rohan Shah as well as Pankaj Pandey, for giving us your time and speaking with us here. We do have a truncated holiday week, so I want to wish both of you a good, happy, long weekend ahead. And for all of our viewers as well, it's a wrap on goodbye from the entire team that puts this piece together. Thanks so much for tuning in. But do post us your feedback in the comment section, and also follow us at the link at the bottom of your screen. And keep remembering that you can be sending in your queries, because that's what we'll try and answer in this show. So don't forget to be sending us those in your live posts. For all the other updates, stay tuned to moneycontrol.com as well as the Money Control app.